Today we are going to be making a embroidered Christmas ornament. This is a cardinal and it says, "I am always with you." These are perfect gifts for those who have lost loved ones. Here's the front. Here's the back. It has felt on it so that the back of the ornament looks very clean and sharp. So before we put it on our embroidery machine, I just wanted to go over the supplies that you will need. I have already cut out and ironed my fabric. What I've cut out is about 12 by 8.5. And I cut it a little bit bigger than my hoop to make sure that I can pull it around the sides just a little bit. Here's our 5-inch hoop that we're going to be putting our design in, and I'll explain that process in just a little bit. I'm also going to be using some ribbon. I'm not exactly sure which one I'm going to use yet, but I did use these last year and they were super cute. I'm also going to be using these colors for the cardinal and the wording. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to show you how to put it on the hoop. Put this side down first. You're going to take your stabilizer, just kind of put it over it so you know exactly how much to cut. Once it's on there, you just want to kind of tighten the edges, not too tight. And then we're going to tighten it on the side. And it should sound like a little drum whenever you get done. Sounds good. All right, let's go ahead and put it on the machine. I already have my design loaded in my hoop on my embroidery machine. We're going to open up the top and go ahead and load our thread. It does tell us the first color is brown, so let's go ahead and do that one. Always remember to have your presser foot up whenever you are putting your thread through your machine. Let's go ahead and get started. The next color that we are supposed to load is green. I have loaded that one. Let's go ahead and press start for this color. The green is finished. I went ahead and loaded my red. Let's go ahead and get this one started. The red on the cardinal just finished. We're going to go ahead and do the orange for the beak. The beak is finished. I have loaded the black. We're going to go ahead and do the black around the face. Now that the black is finished, we're going to do the white around the eye, and then we're going to do the black again for the eyeball. Here's what we have for the cardinal so far. We just need to go through and trim up a couple of the thread pieces. We're going to go ahead and get started on the wording now. Our file just finished. We're going to go ahead and take it off of our embroidery machine and trim up all of the extra threads. Here it is off of the embroidery machine. We're going to go ahead and take it off the hoop. Just untwist it, and then it pops right out. I always like to go ahead and tighten that back up, that way that I'm not looking for the other half whenever I have another project. Okay, go ahead and flip it over, and you're going to trim around here Not too much, but just to go ahead and get that excess off. I'm going to take my tiny scissors and I'm going to trim all the way around, just making sure that there are no threads that are hanging on. I have seen where people take the thread, they cut it on one side and then they burn it down. I don't like to do that because I've actually ruined a few projects like that. I just like to go ahead and cut it and be done with it. There are some tiny ones in here, like right there. Those are really hard to get to if you don't have tiny scissors. Okay, it is all trimmed up now. We can go ahead and put it on our hoop. Let's zoom y'all out just a little bit. Okay, so these hoops are pretty tight. This one was actually easy, but usually I have to get a little Phillips head and undo it. Don't want to undo it too much. You want to keep it in there still. But this goes on the front. This one will go on the back. Now this part you want to be extra careful with because you want to make sure that your design is center. Okay. Now you can always flip it over because there are some parts on here where it needs to be pulled. So go ahead and flip it over and you can just pull it around the sides. Okay. Just kind of fold it up in there just a little bit. See what it looks like on the front. Tighten it up. I would tighten it up about halfway. We can go ahead and trim around a little bit more. You don't want to cut too close to the hoop because you still might need to tighten it a little bit more. Okay. I still see some strings that I forgot to cut. Let's go ahead and do those. So once you tighten it up about halfway, you're going to go back around and pull the edges to tighten it up. You want to make sure that your design is super tight, that way that your fabric does not wrinkle. Once you're done, go ahead and tighten it up a little bit more. And see how it is very tight around here. Sounds like a drum, so it is super tight. Now, what you're going to do is trim all the way around here, very close to the edge of your hoop. Okay, see how it's pretty close to the hoop? We're going to take a piece of felt. I have a piece of scrap felt. I'm going to put the hoop on here. I'm going to outline it with a Sharpie, that way that I know exactly where to cut. I like to make it a lot bigger than the hoop. And you'll see why. Okay, I have my piece of felt. I'm going to put my hoop on top of it. We have a lot of room to work with here. Here's my mat for my hot glue gun. It helps keep the hot glue off of my desk. My hot glue gun's already on. I'm going to go around the edges. you'll see that there's an outside edge and an inside edge. I'm going to put the hot glue around the inside edge and a little bit on the fabric right there. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do that half before it dries. I'm gonna push it down very firmly. If you see any glue on the outside, you can go ahead and just kind of wipe it away. Okay, I'm going to peel back the felt, that way that I know exactly where to put the rest of the hot glue. On this part, you're going to kind of pull it a little bit tight. That way that you have a tight backing. Push it down firmly. And it should be dried after about 30 seconds. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your scissors and you're going to trim around. I trim basically right up to the wood. Okay, you will notice that it is not going to be even all the way around. So take your scissors. I'm going to take my smaller scissors and I'm going to trim just around here. Go ahead and cut it off. Make those parts even. You don't want to see the back of the felt from the front. So I can kind of see it a little bit right here. I'm going to go ahead and trim up that spot. And if you can see it, it's fine. It's your ornament and it's handmade, so it's not going to be perfect by any means. And there you go. Here's the ribbon that I use. I believe I got it from Joann's. If I didn't get it from Joann's, then it's definitely Hobby Lobby. I'm going to tie a bow. It doesn't have to be any fancy bow. Now, one thing that I am not good at is tying bows. Okay, that's about as good as it's gonna get. We're going to angle the ends. Oops, messed that one up. Let's trim that one again because that one I messed up horribly. Okay. Now I'm going to hot glue my ribbon to here. Just putting a little bit of hot glue on the back of it. My bows are not the cutest, but it'll do. I also like to hot glue the edges down just a little bit to kind of keep it in place so it's not everywhere. I also bought this twine from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to cut, let's see, just a couple inches. Okay. That seems about right. Alright, right, let's measure this. So this length was about 10 inches, about 10 and a half. You're just going to slide it through here and then tie it at the top. This is so it could hang on your Christmas tree. And then we're going to trim the edges a little bit. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions, leave it down in the comment box below. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!